MJ, LeBron, Kareem. I'm not going to read all 50, obviously. Magic and Bird are 4 and 5. You got Shaq 6. I love Shaq. That's a joke. Duncan is 7. Russell's 8. Wilt's 9. Steph Curry's 10. We'll get back to him. The Big O's 11. David Robinson 12. Way too high. Hakeem is 13. Kobe 14. Kevin Durant 15. Then they go Dirk. Then they go Charles Barkley, Jerry West, and then they go the mailman. I'll cherry pick the first thing that I would say, and I'll volley it to Teague. The first thing that jumps out, Larry Bird can no longer be on anybody's top 5.
Why?
Because I don't think he deserves it at this point.
But it's funny because as I looked through this list, I felt like there were other factors being considered rather than what was his playing career like?
Such as what, like influence on the game?
Yes.
Pertaining to Steph, probably, right?
And it was definitely with Steph.
Okay.
But also with like Shaq. I love
Shaq.
Shaq is 6th, but you love Shaq. And so it's like in your mind, he's like, oh, yeah, he's got to be a top, like 6, 7 player.
He's like the 4th best Laker of all time.
But you know what I mean? But it's like because it's Shaq and you see him all the time and you like him and he's got like this personality. Like, dude, if I want to get a beer with one of these, I want to go get a beer with Shaq. I want to hang with Shaq.
For sure.
And so in your mind,
just don't make a bet with Shaq because he doesn't pay up.
Exactly, the mooch.
The big mooch.
It just feels like he gets elevated because he's so prominent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
It's almost like because of the NBA season, we see him every night, like literally. He's on the top of your mind, so of course he's got to be a top 5 player, 6 player.
A good observation. In what world are there 14 people who have ever walked the face of this earth that are better at basketball than Kevin Durant? How would the answer is, in my opinion, rhetorically, there's not.
Yeah, there's not.
How Shaq is in front of Duncan is mystifying. How Shaq is in front of a few people is mystifying. How David Robinson, and I love Robinson, great player, no way should he be in front of Hakeem Olajuwon. And, I said kind of jokingly, like Shaq is barely the 3rd or 4th best Laker. But if you really examine that, he kind of is. Magic, Kareem, 1-2, or, 2-1, invert that if you want. Kobe. I mean, Kobe's better than Shaq. So you could say, I'm not going to say Elgin Baylor. I'm not going to say Shaq's better than Jerry West. I guess I could say that. That Shaq is 6th on this list is laughable.
Where was Jerry West on this list?
20. 19, pardon me.
19?
Number 19.
I mean, part of this,
listen, the old G's are dropping.
Yeah, of course. They're going to drop because the game just is different. And the people who are doing these lists, and again, this is according to Bleacher Report .com, the people who are doing these lists maybe saw these guys play on video.
Yeah.
Probably haven't at all.
Yeah.
And so I think the hardest thing about all of this is that like context means nothing. Like what was important in 1960 to winning a championship. So when Jerry West was playing, what was important back then, it is the farthest thing from important now. You know what I mean? So like you can't judge over errors, even though you're trying to. And so what becomes is like, well, who do I like most? Or who does our collection of people, I don't know how many people voted on this, who do they like most? Which is why I say like this emotional thing gets involved in it. That's why Shaq is 6, because you're like, hey, I like him, even though you probably in context you shouldn't like him that high.
Listen, it's a vehicle for clicks.
Yeah.
We know that, which is cool. It's business.
Awesome,
I get that. No problem with that. And I love Bleacher Report. They do good work. It's also a vehicle to spark conversation leading into the NBA season.
That's right. And
it's smart.
And it's coming.
That's why ESPN's doing it, CBSSports.com, but we all do it. We'll all do it.
What are we, a week away from training camps? They next week?
Everybody's media day is pretty much done, and the Nets had it the other day.
I think they have like a week.
The Nets are about. When did the Nets have it? The Nets shot, what was that, from Friday? They had Kevin Durant
like
at the green screen, whatever it was. Kyrie Irving got hit in the face. He had to leave. He took an elbow. He had to leave a little bit early. Yeah, no, it's coming. And Mike, just check out, what's the official opener? Usually it was Halloween. And I think about right around there, 29th, 30th, 31st, tip off with a few marquee games, like usually that Tuesday, and then you get a couple of more on Thursday and then whatever. But it's generally more so the middle of October, more so than late October. What's opening night in the NBA, Mike?
I think it's October, not 4th.
No, that's too early. I'm going to say October 16th. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, because training camp, I think it's probably training camp or the preseason, whatever it is starting October 4th. And then 2 weeks later or so, that's when you get the start of the regular season. So it's coming. I mean,
do you have it, Mike?
October 22nd.
Oh, a little later than last year.
It is a little bit later.
By the way, there's been 4,374 players who have ever played a single NBA game. And that's how they try to, and they prefaced it in the, the little preamble to the actual listing here, top 50 for the Bleacher Report, that obviously when there's almost 4,500 players who played the game, so many different generations, so many different rules tweaks, so many different trends, three-point shot not there before 1979, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. It's impossible to put up a list that everybody will agree upon clearly. But, I mean, do you really believe Steph Curry's better than Kobe? Really?
Impact on the game, I'm going to say yes. And you know what? I think we're going to learn a lot about Steph this year, too.
That's what I tweeted. Go ahead.
Right? Because, and I didn't see your tweet, but I can imagine what you're saying. Because without all of the superstardom around him that we've seen over the last couple of seasons, he's either going to raise to this level of and raise the expectation of the Golden State Warriors, or people will know we just got to stop Steph Curry and we can stop this Golden State Warriors squad. We know when Clay will be about probably till February, and there's a chance that Steph ends up taking like 60% of the shots and he scores like 38 points a night and puts himself in an MVP conversation, which I think would be the best thing for Steph to do, because in a lot of ways we've forgotten about how amazing of a player he is because he gets knocked because of the team around him. And so I actually love this opportunity for Steph, and I hope and I'm sure he is, attacking this offseason with the different vigor and energy, whereas the last couple of years he can be, I can afford to have an off night.
Yeah.
Right? If I shoot 25% or whatever, we're still going to win. We're going to get close to it. Now I got to be on. Like I got to be 45, 50% every night, and I got to be smart. I can't be flippant, and be the full leader all the time, which I think is awesome for him.
Listen, I think he's wired that way. He's wired differently than Kobe, or let me say, if he's wired the same as Kobe from a competitive point of view, and he might be, even if he actually shows it differently. He's going to have to change things a little bit this year because he's got a chance now. Again, I think Steph Curry is the 10th best player in the history of the NBA is flat out ludicrous. I think it's nuts. But if Steph Curry goes out this year and averages, 29 points a game, and the Warriors win, 54, 56 games, and there's no Clay, or at least not for a long time. Maybe Clay comes back in February, hopefully for sure. Kevin Durant's in Brooklyn, not even really playing at this point, maybe at the end of the season. He could change a lot of perceptions that he's jointly turned the Warriors into one of the all-time great teams. I'd like to see him be very selfish this year. I just don't know if, Kobe's wired to be selfish.
Yeah.
I don't know if Steph Curry's wired to fully be selfish, but if he is, he's got a chance to silence a few detractors.
I think you're right.
For those who believe that he is overrated or improperly positioned, if you think he's top 10 all time. 855-212-4227, Tiki and Tierney Show. Listen, I never saw him play. There was a point where I would exhaust a lot of energy on guys like Elgin Baylor out of respect. As long as they're still inside the top 20, top 25, I'm fine with that. Jerry West, that's fine. Oscar Robertson's higher than those guys, but if you have them just outside of the top 10, I'm not going to go nuts. But what I will fight you tooth and nail on, if you disrespect Kareem, we're going to battle. Boy, he was great. I'm going to say this again. Larry Bird will no longer be considered a top 5 player of all time.
Because guys have passed him?
Yes.
Too many guys have passed him?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you don't have Hakeem in the right spot, I'm ready to battle.